stay basketball and go to this Suns Nuggets matchup. So of course we know that the
I always feel like the
Phoenix Suns,
Nuggets just
Nuggets.
need to be referred to as the butt Nuggets.
the butt nuggets.
Yeah, I just always, man.
Not the chicken nuggets.
Going back, no time butt Nuggets, man. Going back to the days of Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. For real.
Yeah, man. Carver's appreciate that name. Now here goes the thing. I wasn't really impressed with either one of these teams in the first round.
Yeah.
If you ever looked at the games with Denver and Minnesota, I mean Minnesota stole a game and they were pretty much in a lot of those games. And when I just don't think they should have been. Minnesota's really played not a good game, either one of those games. And Phoenix, I mean, they let a team stick around and pretty much they were up 20 or almost 30 points in this closeout game. And then Westbrook has a chance to tie with a layup with like a minute left or 2 minutes left.
It felt like every game was closer than it needed to be.
Every game was closer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
And so neither team impressed me. I have no idea what's going to happen. If I had to put money, which of course I won't, I would probably say Denver in 7.
See, I'd probably say the Suns in 7.
Yeah.
I just at the end of the day, I
I'm not
believe
particularly
more
sure.
in their shot making than I do Denver's, and and it's KD, it's Booker's, whatever. But I do think Jokic is the better player, but I do think that Ayton gives a decent matchup there.
Well, for me, it's not Jokic. Jamal Murray has been the best player for Denver Nuggets in this first round, which oddly enough, he was the best player their most successful season in the bubble.
Right.
And that's so for me, that's the thing, and I don't think the Suns guards will be able to do anything with him.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, with the exception of the Ayton matchup, the Suns defensively are pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Paul can't really stay in front of anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Booker's marginal defender. KD's not much of a defender. And so they don't really have a defensive identity. And so that is going to be problematic. But I still kind of trust their shot making and whatever a little bit more than Denver.
And that's fair.
Like we're kind of saying this. We're both predicting a long series.
Yeah, yeah.
And no clear advantage either way.
I don't think it's any clear advantage. But again, I don't think either one of these teams have any excuses. I mean, both of these teams are supposed to win this series, oddly enough, right? For various different reasons. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be tuned in every game. I mean, there's something for me to watch here. But I think Denver has good shot making though. Porter is a knockdown shooter. Michael Porter Jr. and he's been staying relatively healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Gordon is probably going to be on KD most of the series. They don't have much for Book, but they'll have Caldwell Pope. I mean, he's a solid guy. I don't foresee Book going for these high 45 and 50-point games.
Well, I think the series could be very much a shootout. Yeah, we could see games like 125, 122, those sort of games. And I don't think there's going to be many tractor pulls in this series.
Yeah.
And so individually, anybody, any of the prime scores in this series could drop some gaudy numbers,
and that could swing a series
for sure if
they get hot for a game or two.
For sure.
No, I agree with that.
But does the West not feel super open? I mean, this is the one matchup that we know of, and we feel it's going to be 7. Yeah, no, you're right. Right.
This is the most open I've ever seen in the NBA in a long time.
Yeah.
But both conferences for different reasons. In the West, is really mostly just because of the teams themselves. Nobody has escaped the pack, if you will. There's not a dominant team. That's what makes the West feel open. In the East, it's injuries. And just funky things. It's different. Yeah. If Giannis was completely healthy, we look at Milwaukee a different way. Boston has been up and down all season, really. I know they had the second best record in the East, but that's a team who lost to the Magic 4 times. Who lost to a lot of these bad teams. They have stretches where they don't play good basketball.
I mean, going into I kind of felt internally that they're probably the favorite just the combination.
Boston.
Yeah, but
They have a higher
but
ceiling,
again, they got out of the gate great, and then they've kind of made a mess the last couple games,
which has
consistent
been their
with what they
season.
did. Yeah,
Yeah. They have the highest ceiling, I think, but the lowest floor.
yeah,
It's weird.
I mean, Philadelphia, to their credit, took care of business, but Boston's always been a super challenging matchup for them.
Yeah.
So even if Boston struggles through, you still feel
I
pretty
would
good
feel
about
a lot different if we were on the other side of this bracket. I mean, like
Yeah.
if we're the ones going up against Miami or Milwaukee next,
it. Yeah.
you're talking to a different Bubba today.
Yeah, exactly. No, and again, like it's like, and you got the Knicks here in this thing. I don't believe in the Knicks. Even if the Heat get through, I don't believe in the Heat in like a big way.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of comes down to the winner at Boston Philly.
And back to the West. I know we bounced East West, but that just shows how open we think both conferences are. But for the Lakers, I mean, the Lakers. Shout out to the general managers that at the trade deadline they really improved their team. They are a much better team, but I can't fully believe in them either. They're a flawed team. And and not just this year. I mean, it's been about a good 2-3 year stretch. LeBron really looks different. Yeah, he'll have a game where he has big numbers, but he looks 37, 38 when you watch him play. He's just smart enough to be able to produce at a high level.
He literally does not have the energy to control games like he has in the past or dominate games, and so he's very much in a situation where he's picking his spots to be decisive on the game, and sometimes he'll miss the spots.
And that's it's so weird when you think of it from a physical human nature, because we know LeBron James is super in shape. How much money he spends on his body every summer, what he does need, et cetera, et cetera. He's a freak of nature. He's gassed in all of these games and during the regular season, not just playoffs.
No,
you get to the fourth quarter and he's fucking gassed. This is the Iron Man.
But it is just different.
When you get older.
When you're playing and you're getting older. Yeah. You don't like. For me, the best way to describe it, and I've gone through this, and like the worst thing for me is when I play my son in basketball. It's like I'm good enough, smart enough to get him in bad positions, but what you lose is he has 2, 3, 4 efforts in a play. I have one. I have to be perfect. I don't have that ability to just get the second jump or get beat here but hustle back and cut him off or swat the shot from behind. I don't have that. Defensively, I've got one chance. I got to size up and read where a guy's going and be right and stop that. If I'm not right, there's no resistance. I don't have. The older you get, you have less of that. I almost call it elasticity to your athleticism, where you can just recoil, change directions multiple times in the context of a play. That's gone, and it's gone for LeBron.
Yeah.
And that it makes you just become more flat-footed. You're trying to find these moments to be decisive. He's still great mentally and can read plays, sniff things out. But if you get him wrong on a guess, he's done. Where with the Heat, you could you probably beat LeBron a bunch with different things, but he recovered and still got a block or still slapped the ball away.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen anymore. That's gone. That's gone with age.
Yeah,
he's if he gets a slap, it's because he read everything right perfectly. He had one chance to do it and he did it.
Yeah.
But when you peak LeBron, no, you might have 3 or 4 chances in the same freaking play.
Yeah.
Just because you're that.
What's funny about the Iguodala block in the finals, he went up on the wrong side. And then he ended up it was an odd jump and he ended up getting with the offhand. That's not happening now. Any chase down now, I mean, it's just perfect, the perfect jump or whatnot. Yeah, I completely agree with all that.
You kind of the thing, when your natural elastic athleticism begins to wane, you become a technical perfectionist.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to function and play. And whether it's your shooting, whether it's your defensive stance or movements, it's all pristine and clean because you have to conserve energy and you can't recover. So you got to get it right the first time.
Exactly.